Nobody take no cornbread from me.
Live with Tim Black. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yes, you can hear me, Tim?
I hear you just fine. Who's this?
Okay, this is from Brooklyn, New York.
All right.
And the purpose of the call today is, I know probably you will not agree with what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, that it's great for us. I'm a big Bernie supporter, but the problem that I have with Bernie is that when you call for a political revolution, millions of us answered that call. And yes, I understand that you made a promise to the DNC that if you do not get the nomination, that you would support Hillary. But this is not a game. We did not support. You called for a revolution because because you know the gravity, meaning Bernie knows the gravity of what we're facing. When you're talking about the TPP is not the TPP makes NAFTA, CAFTA, and all of these other trade programs before that looks like child's play. When you're talking about the gravity of fracking and the amount of seismic activity that it has brought about, this is humongous. As Bernie would say, this is huge. When you talk about a person like Hillary Rodham Clinton, that he knows, Bernie knows, is a war hawk. This is a woman that called for a no-fly zone in Syria, which would basically have us today if Barack Obama at least one time had enough sense to say, this woman is crazy, and stand up to her and say, no, I'm not going to do that. Because if he did follow her advice, we would be probably looking at war with Russia. Because the no-fly zone would have us meaning to knock out Russian airplanes. So when you call for a revolution, you made a promise to us as voters, as people who understand the gravity of the situation. Because as someone before said, STIPA and the internet laws that are there to limit shows like this still are floating around. And I guarantee you, and Hillary Clinton was a supporter of those internet laws. So there are too many things that when people talk about Donald Trump is a joke. Donald Trump couldn't get anything passed. Hillary Clinton is the only person that we really need to fear, because every single thing that Hillary Clinton talks about, she can actually get passed. And that's the person to fear. You don't fear a clown. Donald Trump can puff and puff all he wants. And personally, I know from just doing math, Donald Trump doesn't even want to be president. Donald Trump this is a big publicity stunt so that he could sell books and make millions like Hillary on the speaking circuit. So that after this, he loses, he goes out on the speaking circuit and maybe if Hillary was getting $225 for an hour speech, he could probably get $300,000 to $400,000 for an hour speech. Compare that to making $60,000 for the year as president. Donald Trump doesn't want that. Donald Trump's monthly expenses are about $500,000 a month just to run and be Donald Trump. So when we look at the seriousness of the situation, what does that mean? Bernie has to stay in and go independent. You called for a revolution. We answered the call. How do you now say, oh, what, the DNC? Forget about the DNC. You call for a revolution. If that means you have to step outside of the DNC, then that's just what you have to do. Millions of people answered the call that you made. So, unlike a lot of people today, we all love Bernie, but I think what we should be doing is putting pressure on Bernie to just do what I'm saying. What about the promise you made to us? That's all I'm saying. You made a promise to us. We came along with you in this revolution. I understand the promise he made. And also, one more thing, I understand what you're saying.
30 seconds,
You made a statement about the death threats and things of that nature. But guess what? Martin Luther King knew about the death threats. Malcolm knew about the death threats. JFK knew about. When you are going up against the system, you know what they can do. You don't go halfway, either all the way or none. That's what I have to say.
All right. Thank you for your call. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Hold on one second. All right. I got to respond to this. And I gave you an extra minute and a half, too. You said the same thing about 3 or 4 times. First of all, when you say that, I know you gave your word to the DNC, but you gave us your word as well. Okay, so the word he gave us is that he was going to go to the convention, right? Do you know how much pushback he's been getting ever since New York? They've been telling him to drop out. Hell, they've been telling him to drop out before New York. They said this race was over in March, brother. So he gave you his word that he would go to the convention. He's going to the convention. That's his word, right? You keep saying he gave his word. That's his word, right? His word is we're going to go to the convention. Everybody else dropped out. Webb dropped out. O'Malley dropped out. Elizabeth Warren didn't run. Biden didn't run. He's the only one who had the balls to run against Hillary. And it's still the people that are supposed to support him stab him in the back because, hell, man, you ain't Martin Luther King. Well, you know what? Martin Luther King is dead, brother. He can't do much for us after his death. So that's what you say. So you're saying he's supposed to die. Okay, here's my next thing. If you say you respect the man because of his integrity, then you can't tell him to throw it away because you think, or whatever reasoning that you have. I think we need people in the system and outside the system. I don't think this is all up to Bernie Sanders to change the United States of America. I feel that it's our job as well to do that. Third thing, it's really easy for people who don't put themselves out there, people who don't run for office, people who don't lead, people who don't hurt themselves financially, whether employment or business or anything, to talk about what other people should do. Anybody who feels like Major Harris, start your movement tomorrow. Come on, start your movement tomorrow. I left a very lucrative career to do what I'm doing. What have you put on the line? I lose advertisers every time I get a good opportunity that crosses my doorstep. I end up losing it because people don't like what I say about Hillary Clinton. What have you risked, sir? What have you lost? Forget talking about what Bernie needs to do. What are you doing? Bernie is just one guy. Just one person, one human being. He ain't Jesus. He one guy. What's he supposed to do? The weight of everyone. Well, you told us we're going to have a revolution. Revolution is not just one guy. Martin Luther King wasn't just by himself. Hell. and look what happened to Malcolm. It's funny you bring up Malcolm X because who killed Malcolm? People didn't like what he was doing, huh? Sound a little bit like you. Just a little bit. You got a little bit of that in there. holding him accountable for all the problems of the country that were here before he was born. Were here before, definitely here before he started running for office. We've been doing fracking before Hillary, contrary to popular belief, right? It's not up to Bernie to stop all the ills of the country. I like what he's doing. I believe in the platform. I believe it's not about him. It's about making the changes. Guys, the changes. It's not about him. It's about what good would it be if he got elected and he couldn't get any of the changes done? It would be like Obama. What good would it be? What good would it be to have a person in office? It'd be worse, brother. It would be worse to put him in office and he not have the ability to get stuff done. I will go back to what I said originally, and I believe this wholeheartedly. There are probably good politicians out there who want to do great things. We need to start hosting up candidates on our shoulders that have different names than Bernie Sanders, so that we can build a Congress, so that we can build politicians up and remind them we will support you. You don't have to take that super PAC money. You don't have to take that special interest money. You can keep your ideals and your ethics. That's the movement. You keep talking revolution. This is a movement revolution. Movement involving other people. What kills me, there are people who haven't done anything other than cast a vote. They think they did something in a revolution. And all due respect, man, if all you did was call up the Tim Black Show, complain, and now complain some more, what have you really, and voted for a guy, what else have you actually done? And all I'm saying is, until you've done that, you're really not in a position to say this guy hasn't done enough. Now, I wish he would do what? Run Green Party? If he ran Green Party, he wouldn't be in the position he's in right now. We don't know what's going on. We don't know. Maybe he heard that the indictments are going to be tomorrow. I don't know. You don't know. But just to assume he doesn't care, why did he do all this? He didn't make any money doing this, Like, he hasn't become a rich man. Obviously, it's not in it for money. Guys, I got a hard time understanding, man, where people are coming from with it. All I can say is stay positive, and stay realistic, too. Stay realistic while you're at it. There's still roaches. I thought Bernie gonna get rid of all the roaches. I saw a fly today. He's supposed to get rid of all the flies and the roaches and clean this country up for us. I sent him my $27 and there's still trash on the ground around here. Daggone it. I'm pissed off. I sent my $27 that time. That's what people do. To me, as somebody who I break my butt doing the stuff I do. I do 2 shows a day. I want him to do more. Want him to do more. He need to just do more. What are you talking about? Shoot, he need to die like MLK died. MLK died, you take a bullet and die. That's what it's gonna take. Then I'm gonna just look for somebody else to do what you was gonna do, or what you said you was gonna do, and then that's what. Yeah. This is a horrible logic, brother. I'm sorry, man. A horrible logic. You got the only candidate that gives a darn about any of the things that matter. And what you do, instead of having his back, you talk about what he ain't doing, what he didn't do, what he need to do more of, instead of giving support for what he's been doing. And that's why, hopefully, my job, I'm doing my job. My job is to keep people motivated so we can go to this convention so that we can get other Bernie-crats on board, so that we can support those other people that are going to run. I'm going to play my part. What's your part? Demotivation? That's your point. That's your part. I'm the demotivator. Hey, everybody, I'm here to demotivate you. Am I doing my job? All right, let me keep it moving, guys. I'm sorry. Next call. All right, people. Pick up a t-shirt and don't let nobody take your cornbread.
Nobody take no cornbread from me.